Welcome to Facility Security Plan. Learning objectives. Access control to licensed premises and their limited access areas is one key component of your mission of complete and comprehensive security of the premises. To achieve thorough access control, cannabis operations will install a commercially viable, up-to-date security alarm system and video surveillance system to prevent and detect diversion, theft, or loss of cannabis and cannabis products, or unauthorized access to the premises. For doors into limited access areas and all entries and exits into the licensed premises, facilities will use Underwriters Lab UL approved locks and lock cylinders, which are burglary resistant, non-residential, and commercial grade. All facility windows will be of reinforced glass and will be tinted, in addition to being monitored by the facility's central alarm system. Employee proximity cards, access codes, physical keys, and other access hardware credentials will be distributed on a limited and individual basis to pre-authorized essential personnel. Learning objectives. Facility access control system, visitor access control, facility maintenance and cleaning, preventing loss, theft, and diversion, video surveillance system, security computerized systems, security plan purpose, facility security plan specifications. Facility access control system. The security management team will ensure the facility's access control system at the premises allows for programming or uploading individual user permissions and allowed entry times as well as operation-specific information including personnel photos. Access to the premises will be limited to personnel and authorized visitors, including authorized government officials when necessary to perform their official duties. This will also ensure that the access control system monitors and records the identity of all personnel or visitors entering and exiting the premises. All keycard entry and exit activity, including dates and times, lengths of time in specific areas, and any unauthorized attempts to access. All records relating to access control must be maintained in business records on the premises at all times for 7 years. These records are to be made available to the local law enforcement government agencies or regulatory authorities upon request. Visitor access control. These tasks will be performed at all times when a visitor is seeking access to a limited access area within the facility. Entry into limited access areas is only possible by the use of a valid keycard with the appropriate permissions. Anyone not employed or contracting with your cannabis operations that are granted access to a limited access area will be escorted by an authorized employee at all times, while within the limited access area. Only employees with assigned permissions to the limited access area may escort the visitors. Acceptable forms of government-issued ID include a document issued by a federal, local, or municipal government, or a political subdivision or agency thereof, such as a valid motor vehicle operator's license that contains the name, date of birth DOB, physical description and picture of the person. A valid identification card issued to a member of the armed forces that includes a date of birth and a picture of the person. A valid passport issued by recognized government jurisdiction or by the foreign government. Access to limited access areas within the facility is restricted to employees who have been granted appropriate access permissions. However, non-employee individuals who have a legitimate reason for entering the limited access area may be granted limited and supervised access on a case-by-case basis. Visitors may include laboratory agents, contractor, vendor, or service provider authorized to be on the licensed premises, another licensee or licensee's agents, government officials. Your cannabis operations and employees will report to the regulators and local authorities any discovered plan or act by a visitor to commit theft, burglary, underage sales, diversion of cannabis or cannabis products, or other crime related to the operations, compromise the integrity of the seed-to-sale tracking system, Do something that results in serious bodily injury to anyone or something that otherwise creates a material risk to public health and safety. Facility maintenance and cleaning. You must protect the health of medical patients, adult consumers, and staff throughout all aspects of operations. It is your responsibility to ensure that the cannabis operation is conducted in a sanitary manner so as to not create contamination and pose a health risk to adult consumers and medical patients. Cleaning and sanitation procedures will apply to work performed by contractors or temporary employees, as well as work performed by full-time employees during the ordinary course of operations. Building maintenance will ensure the interior and exterior of the facility are maintained in a sanitary condition to ensure the safety of employees and authorized visitors, and to prevent the deterioration and contamination of cannabis products and cannabis materials. Additionally, it is the responsibility to document the findings and any corrective actions regarding facility maintenance and cleaning in the facility maintenance log. Always use waste receptacles constructed of a material that is smooth, corrosion-resistant, and easily cleanable. The number, size, and location of waste receptacles at the facility will encourage their use and not result in overfilling. They will be emptied at least once each working day, unless unused, and will be maintained in a clean and sanitary condition. Always use receptacles with a solid, tight-fitting cover, unless sanitary conditions can be maintained without the use of a cover. Furthermore, the grounds of the facility will be equipped with draining areas to prevent pooled or standing water. Routine sanitation and maintenance practices include maintaining a regular schedule for cleaning and maintenance activities, removing trash and maintaining waste treatment, sewage, and disposal systems, maintaining cracks, window and door frames, drain areas, and floor joints with sealant or screens to limit pest movement, eradicating any weeds or pest habitats surrounding the facility, controlling airborne contamination as needed where cannabis products or contact surfaces are exposed, inspecting the facility for mold and having a mold expert address any mold found in the facility immediately, checking that any pipes within 20 feet or 6.1 meters of the building are closed-ended and not leaking, cutting grass and weeds to minimize harborage areas for pests. Removing any food or water supply outside of the facility could attract and support a pest population. If pests are found on the facility, including roads and parking lots, capture and remove them, or contact your pest control service provider to capture and remove the pests. Checking that all dumpsters are closed to exclude pests, so close any open dumpsters. All sanitizing agents used to clean equipment, floors, counters, walls, and ceilings at the facility will be registered with the Environmental Protection Agency (EPA) or equivalent government agency, stored and disposed of in a manner that protects against contamination of cannabis products and cannabis materials, stored and disposed of in a manner that is following any applicable local or federal law, rule, regulation, or ordinance. All floors, walls, and ceilings in the facility will be smooth and constructed in a manner that they can be adequately cleaned and kept clean and in good repair. Fixtures, ducts, and pipes will not pose a source of drip or condensate that may contaminate cannabis products, contact surfaces, or packaging material. Additionally, the premises will have a janitorial facility to be used for the cleaning of mops or similar wet floor cleaning tools and the disposal of mop water and similar liquid waste. Preventing loss, theft, and diversion. The security manager will develop best practices to mitigate and prevent loss, theft, and diversion. Loss, theft, and diversion prevention measures will be updated as often as necessary. There will be areas provided where personnel may store, but to access personal items will be separate from operational areas and will establish procedures for the investigation of suspicious activities. Help prevent loss, theft, or diversion of cannabis and cannabis products by keeping each unique identifier with its respective cannabis or cannabis products, Track all cannabis and cannabis products at each step of the process into the seed-to-sale system. Supervising tasks or processes with high potential for diversion, including the loading and unloading of cannabis transportation vehicles. There will be 24 hours per day, 7 days per week video monitoring of the premises, including but not limited to areas where cannabis and cannabis products are weighed, packaged, stored, quarantined, loaded and unloaded for transportation, prepared and moved within the premises. Limited access areas. If there is evidence of suspected theft or diversion, it will report the suspected theft or diversion to management and law enforcement promptly, which is typically defined in cannabis regulations. The notice will include in writing the date and time of the incident, a description of the incident, including items that were taken or missing, the name of the local law enforcement agency that was notified of the incident. Surveillance system overview. There will always be a video surveillance recording system to prevent unauthorized entrance into limited access areas and to prevent diversion of cannabis and cannabis products. The surveillance system and its capabilities and features will operate continuously 24 hours per day, 7 days per week. Security will ensure that cameras are not installed in bathrooms or any other area where a legitimate expectation of privacy exists. They will verify that the surveillance equipment is properly functioning and maintained so that the playback quality is suitable for viewing, and the surveillance equipment is capturing the identity of all individuals and activities in the monitored areas. All surveillance cameras are free of debris or obstruction due to cannabis goods and other materials. This surveillance system or equipment has the capabilities to produce a color still photograph from any camera image, live or recorded. The current date and time are displayed on recordings and do not significantly obstruct the recorded images. Camera coverage is required for limited access areas, security rooms, areas containing surveillance system storage devices, which shall contain at least one camera to record the access points to such an area, 20 feet or 6.1 meters of the interior and exterior of all entrances and exits to the premises. Areas where cannabis or cannabis products are weighed, packed, stored, quarantined, loaded, and unloaded for transportation, prepared or moved within the premises. The surveillance equipment used to monitor licensed premises will typically have a camera with high-quality resolution, record continuously at a minimum speed. Security will ensure that camera locations, the direction of coverage, and camera numbers are accurately depicted on the premises diagram and numbered on the physical camera and premise diagram. Computerized systems. Cannabis operations always use computerized systems to replace manual processes, enhance operational efficiencies, and/or reduce the need for human work. The diversity, complexity, and criticality of computerized systems will determine the extent of validation needed and the risk that the computerized system poses to the product quality and patient and consumer safety. They will be able to justify its standards, protocols, acceptance criteria, procedures, and records based on risk assessment. All computerized systems will have sufficient controls to prevent unauthorized access or changes to data. Computerized systems will have controls to prevent omissions in data, and changes to computerized systems will be made according to a change procedure and will be formally authorized, documented, and tested. Records will be kept of all changes, including modifications and enhancements made to the hardware, software, and any other critical component of the system. So these records will demonstrate that the system is always maintained. If operations use computerized systems that exchange data electronically with other systems, those computerized systems will include appropriate built-in checks for the correct and secure entry and processing of data to minimize risk. If system breakdowns or failures would result in the permanent loss of records, there will be a backup system. A means of ensuring data protection will be established for all computerized systems. For critical data entered manually, there will be an additional check on the accuracy of the data. The check may be done by a second operator or by validated electronic means and may record data by a second means in addition to the computerized system as needed. A formal agreement will exist between the cannabis operations and the computerized system suppliers or service providers when used to provide, install, configure, integrate, validate, maintain, modify, or retain a computerized system or related service or for data processing. The agreements will establish clear statements of responsibilities and will be made available to the applicable regulatory agencies upon request. Always formally assess all potential computerized system suppliers before accepting a formalized agreement with the supplier and consider competency and reliability when selecting a computerized system supplier. Security plan purpose. This training provides a general description of the security equipment installed, access barriers implemented, and measures are taken to secure the premises and prevent unauthorized access to the premises. We'll go through the procedures that will be followed when admitting non-personnel to limited access areas within the facility. Let's review the procedures that will be implemented by the maintenance in coordination to ensure employees take the necessary steps that the interior and exterior of the facility are maintained in a sanitary condition. This training describes procedures that will be implemented by security to prevent loss, theft, and diversion at the facility. The responsibilities that shall be implemented by security as a condition of employment regarding the premises surveillance system. The purpose is to ensure security team members follow the surveillance system policies and procedures and will outline tasks related to the operation and maintenance of computerized systems used. Scope: sanitation, quality, facilities, visitors, security, books and records. Resources: visitor access log, sign-in and sign-out logs, lanyard using clear badge holder, printing visitor identification badges, facility maintenance log, computer or tablet, seed-to-sale system and tags, surveillance system, authorized user list, access logs. Security plan: video cameras, physical storage devices, cloud storage system, locked server enclosure, backup restore plan, disaster recovery plan. Interior and exterior brooms, dust mops, approved cleaning and sanitizing agents, trash can liners, hand towels, soap and toilet paper, pest control devices and traps. Tools and equipment used by security, including underwriters' lab UL-approved locks and lock cylinders, window film, employee proximity cards, and fencing materials. Facility access control specifications. This specifies how to control access to the facility. 1. Confirm that facility prominently displays security system notification signage. 2. Verify with the facility maintenance crew and project management team members that the facility's perimeter doors are equipped with the following: commercial-grade, non-residential door locks, automatic locking hardware, electric strike, electronic key card access hardware, contact alarms, prevent unauthorized entry or exit. Panic, duress, or hold-up alarms are monitored in the security room and at the off-site monitoring center. Closed-circuit television CCTV cameras that may be supplemented with fixed and pan-tilt zoom PTZ cameras. Note: CCTV cameras can be monitored in real time within the security room or at off-site monitoring centers as needed. 3. Verify with the facility maintenance crew and project management team members that the facility's windows are tinted, reinforced glass, window locks visible from the outside, equipped with alarms that are monitored in the security room or at an off-site monitoring center as needed. 4. Install motion detectors in locations where the detectors can adequately detect motion, but also without causing any false alarms, such as areas surrounding an outdoor grow operation, if applicable. Note: the best location for a motion detector is usually in the corner of the room, away from any windows about 6 to 8 feet off the ground. 5. Install video cameras in the following areas: limited access areas, security rooms. The areas where cannabis or cannabis products are weighed, packed, stored, quarantined, loaded, and unloaded for transportation, prepared or moved within the premises. Areas containing surveillance system storage devices, which shall contain at least one camera to record the access points to such an area. 20 feet or 6.1 meters of the interior and exterior of all entrances and exits to the premises. If video cameras are already installed, verify that they are working properly and the view is unobstructed due to cannabis storage. 6. Check that commercial, energy-efficient LED floodlights are sufficient to facilitate surveillance and are being used to light the exterior of the facility. 7. Tend to the landscaping around the business by keeping it to a 3 feet or 7 feet guideline. Note, shrubs should not exceed 3 feet or 1 meter in height, and trees should be trimmed up to 7 feet to allow natural surveillance. 8. Where applicable, confirm that trees, bushes, and other foliage outside the facility will not allow for a person or persons to conceal themselves from sight. 9. Install fencing around the grounds and driveway as needed. So if fencing is already installed, ensure it is sturdy and covers the premises completely. 10. Take measures to prohibit loitering on the licensed premises, including educating employees about confronting loiterers. 11. Work with the management to make sure that employees completing tasks or processes with high potential for diversion, including the loading and unloading of cannabis transportation vehicles, are being properly supervised. 12. Prevent the sharing of any employee-specific access credentials and limit the use of combination numbers, passwords, or electronic or biometric security systems to registered authorized employees. Visitor Access Control Specifications. This specifies how to control visitor access. 1. When a visitor is seeking access to the limited access areas of the facility, ask for their government-issued identification ID. If they cannot produce a valid ID or are under the age of 21, turn them away. 2. Do not accept anything, for example, goods, services, or money, in exchange for permitting a visitor to enter a limited access area. 3. Ask the visitor to sign into the visitor access log. Instruct them to include the reason for their visit, the date and time of their visit, and sign and date their entry. 4. When they are done filling out their entry in the visitor access log, ensure their ID matches the name on the visitor access log. 5. When they are done filling out their entry in the visitor access log, give the visitor a visitor identification badge and ask them to keep it visible to others at all times while they're at the facility. 6. Instruct the visitor that they must sign out on the visitor access log before leaving the facility. 7. Escort and monitor the visitor when in the limited access areas of the facility. 8. When a visitor at any time refuses to comply with visitor policies and rules set forth by the applicable regulatory and local laws, ordinances, and other requirements, deny them entry. When a visitor won't leave the premises, it should be considered an incident and handled following the incident response procedures. 9. After the visit is completed, instruct the visitor to sign out on the visitor access log. Ensure they record the accurate departure time. 10. Verify that the full name of the employee escorting the visitor throughout the facility is documented in the visitor access log along with their badge number. 11. Ask the visitor to return their visitor identification badge. 12. Once you check out the visitor, ensure they immediately leave the premises. When any person refuses to leave the premises, it should be considered an incident and handled following the incident response procedures. Facility maintenance and cleaning specifications. This specifies how to handle facility maintenance and cleaning. Instruct employees to conduct the following daily pre-operational cleaning and sanitizing tasks as needed. 1. Remove any litter or waste from the facility's grounds. 2. Manage any overgrown weeds and grass within the immediate vicinity of the facility so that the premises does not constitute an attractant, breeding place, or harborage for pests. 3. Ensure all trees, bushes, and other foliage outside of the facility do not allow for a person or persons to conceal themselves from sight. When the foliage is too overgrown, trim it. 4. Clean all work areas to keep them dry and free of mold, mildew, debris, and other clutter or trash. 5. Clean and sanitize surfaces where cannabis is handled. 6. Dust under and around any computers. 7. Disinfect toilet bowls, including pipes and valves. 8. Restock hand towels, soap, and toilet paper. 9. Clean and disinfect hand washing stations and mirrors. 10. Empty and clean trash bins and replace the trash can liners. 11. Review cameras to ensure nothing is obstructing the view of any cameras. 12. Sweep, mop, or vacuum floors as applicable. After pre-operational cleaning and sanitizing tasks. After employees have completed the above pre-operational cleaning and sanitizing tasks. 1. Perform a visual inspection of the cleaning upon completion. 2. Instruct personnel to clean and sanitize all equipment and other utensils that come into contact with plant material, cannabis concentrate, and cannabis products each time the equipment or utensils come into contact with cannabis, between production batches, and at the end of the shift during which they were used. 3. Confirm that all toxic cleaning chemicals are being stored in a manner that prevents contamination of cannabis components, cannabis products, contact surfaces, or packaging materials. 4. Document all daily cleaning and maintenance tasks, any findings, and any corrective measures in the facility maintenance log. If findings are significant, notify management. Preventing loss, theft, and diversion specifications. This specifies how to prevent loss, theft, and diversion. 1. Administer on a regular basis personnel security briefings focused on awareness. 2. Track cannabis, cannabis products, and the personnel responsible for using the seed-to-sale tracking and internal point-of-sale POS system throughout the entire process to help prevent loss, theft, and diversion. 3. Limit access of personnel within the premises to those areas necessary to complete job duties and to those time frames specifically scheduled for completion of job duties, including access by outside vendors, suppliers, contractors, or other individuals conducting business with the licensee that requires access to the premises. 4. Maintain a list of authorized users, their credentials, their employee identification number as applicable, and an access schedule for limited access areas, common use areas as applicable, designated areas as applicable. 5. Supervise all tasks with a high potential for diversion. These tasks include, but are not limited to, weighing finished cannabis products and cannabis components, packing and unpacking cannabis products and cannabis components, storing cannabis products and cannabis components, receiving, identifying, sampling, and quarantining incoming materials pending release or rejection. 6. Provide areas in which personnel may store and access personal items that are separate from the operational areas. 7. Develop and implement procedures for the investigation of suspicious activities. Suspicious activities or behaviors include wandering around the facility and attempting to open multiple doors, seeming very nervous or anxious when approaching, entering restricted areas when not authorized, or following immediately behind others into card access areas while the door is open, carrying property at an unusual hour or location, especially if they are attempting to hide the item, driving a vehicle slowly and aimlessly around the licensed premises, sitting in a vehicle for extended periods, abruptly changing behavior when seen, dressing inappropriately for the weather or occasion, having a coat on when the temperature is warm, etc., leaving packages, bags, or other items behind. exhibiting unusual mental or physical symptoms. Unusual noises like screaming, yelling, gunshots, or glass breaking. Individuals in a heated argument, yelling or cursing at each other. 8. Keep the following in a locked storage unit in the limited access area until they are ready for the next phase in the distribution chain. Cannabis trim and harvest batches. Finish production batches. Quarantine cannabis products and incoming materials. Finished product. 9. If you find evidence of theft or diversion of cannabis or cannabis products, report the theft or diversion to local law enforcement and regulators within 24 hours of the discovery, the date and time of the incident, a description of the incident including items that were taken or missing, the name of the local law enforcement agency that was notified after the incident. Surveillance System Overview Specifications. This specifies how to manage the surveillance system, starting by performing a walkthrough of the facility and confirming that 1. All cameras are fixed in a permanent location designed to permit the clear recording of all activity occurring within 20 feet or 6.1 meters of all points of entry and exit to the facility and allow for clear and certain identification of any person and activity conducted on premises. 2. The entire exterior and perimeter of the facility are being captured by video surveillance system cameras, including but not limited to all entrances and exits recorded from exterior vantage points, parking lots, loading and unloading areas, outdoor trash receptacles, and all surrounding areas. 3. The entire interior of the facility is being captured by video surveillance system cameras, including, but not limited to, limited access areas, security rooms, areas containing surveillance system storage devices, storage, non-obstructing surveillance, and areas where cannabis or cannabis products are weighed, packed, stored, quarantined, loaded, and unloaded for transportation, prepared or moved within the premises. 4. At least one camera is positioned to constantly record the access points to the area containing surveillance system storage devices. 5. All cameras are placed in a manner that ensures the area meant to be captured is unobstructed by lighting equipment covers, fixtures, or other equipment. For exterior cameras, this means ensuring no trees, bushes, or shrubbery could obstruct the camera's view of potential threats or trespassers. Other video surveillance requirements. 1. Locate all recording and monitoring equipment in an access-controlled, limited-access security room. 2. Take actions to prevent intentional obstruction, tampering with, and disabling of cameras. Use of tamper-proof screws that prevent access to the main camera body and lens. Ensure the camera housings are flush-mounted to walls and electric feet hidden to prevent tampering. 3. Check that all cameras are programmed with a defined home position that remains consistent when the surveillance system is tested or restarted. Ensure the defined home position feature will remain enabled at all times and allow for automatic return to the home position. 4. Archive footage is captured by security cameras for a minimum of 90 days. Keep it in a format that can be easily accessed for viewing. 5. Destroy archived footage after 90 days unless the footage is being used in an investigation. 6. Ensure that all video surveillance records and recordings are only accessible to management staff and stored in a security room. 7. Make recordings available to relevant regulators or local law enforcement upon request. Computerized system specifications. This specifies how to manage computerized systems. 1. Create an inventory list identifying existing and proposed computerized systems, including the following info: location, purpose, description, system owner, criticality, critical and non-critical, impact, direct, indirect, known impact, category, validation status, compliant electronic records and signatures. 2. For critical systems, create an up-to-date system description detailing physical and logical arrangements, data flows and interfaces with other systems or processes, hardware and software prerequisites, security measures available. 3. Conduct risk assessments. 2. Define the criticality and impact of the computerized system. Better focus the validation effort. Identify the security risks associated with the system that may impact patient and consumer safety or product quality, and provide controls to mitigate or eliminate the identified risks. 4. Use the following controls to mitigate risks related to computerized systems: administrative, policies, procedures, training, and implementing change control procedures. Logical, access control, identification or authentication and security devices. Physical, locking systems and control access to the facility. 5. Create a backup restore plan. Cover the following topics when drafting this plan: backup and restore procedures, backup frequency, restoration testing, appropriate retention period, backup media availability. Backup copies are kept off-site and in a way to protect the documents from damage. 6. In addition to a backup restore plan, create a disaster recovery plan as well as include the following information in this plan: business impact analysis (BIA), critical components to reveal any vulnerabilities, and a planning component to develop strategies for minimizing risk. Recovery strategy, methods to restore critical operations and systems to their normal status. Testing, plan that establishes the specific disaster scenario and the specific procedures to be tested and reviewed. 7. Periodically evaluate computerized systems to confirm that they remain valid and are good manufacturing practices GMP compliant. Evaluation should include, where appropriate, functionality, deviation records, incidents, problems, upgrade history, performance, reliability, security, validation status reports. 8. Ensure that changes to the computerized system are introduced in a controlled and coordinated manner. Consider the following in regards to controlling changes: impact assessment, risk assessment, justification, authorization, testing, revalidation needed. Thank you for viewing the Facility Security Plan.